The people on the upper tiers of the Great Ziggurat of appear as tiny specks against the mass of the brickwork. This wasn't a failure of human scale, it was the goal. These monuments were built by rulers who understood that an environment could be used to physically manifest their legitimacy, using overwhelming volume to remind the individual of their own smallness. Modern regimes have consistently reached back for this same blueprint. Saddam Hussein's palace in Babylon was designed as a hilltop fortress, using the same stepped pyramid silhouette as the ziggurat to project an image of a regime that was both ancient and immovable. By forcing the citizen to look upward at 5 football fields of marble and angular towers, the architecture dictates a specific social hierarchy. It is a physical environment designed to discourage the impulse to question authority. In 1920s Italy, Benito Mussolini needed his civic buildings to serve 2 masters. He wanted to reclaim the static, eternal authority of the Roman Empire, but he also needed to prove that fascism was a hyper-modern force. This meant embracing the Futurists, a group of avant-garde artists led by Filippo Tommaso Marinetti. They didn't care about Roman ruins. They worshipped the violent speed of racing cars and the roar of airplane engines. This forced architects to reconcile 2 clashing ideologies, one that wanted to preserve the past forever, and another that wanted to burn the past down to make way for the machine age. The solution provided by architect Angiolo Mazzoni was the Palazzo Delle Poste in Palermo. On the surface, it's a mundane civic building, a place to mail a letter, but its design hides a sophisticated system of behavioral conditioning. The building occupies over 5,000 square meters of central Palermo, guarded by 10 gray marble columns that stand 30 meters high. Before the fall of the regime, these columns were flanked by a massive fasciolatorio, a stone symbol of the party that stretched nearly the entire height of the building. But the real control starts at the entrance stairs. Mazzoni didn't just design them for access, he designed them to engineer the visitor's movement. The unusually shallow risers and broad treads break your normal climbing rhythm. This converts your natural climbing impulse into a gliding impulse. It lowers your center of gravity and drains your momentum, physically ensuring you enter at the deliberate tempo set by the state. By the time you reach the doors, you are no longer setting your own pace. You have been physically synced to the building's own internal rhythm. Crossing the threshold creates a sudden whiplash. The heavy, gray Roman exterior disappears, replaced by a sleek, brightly colored metallic world. The materials shift to red and black marble, with copper doors and an elliptical staircase that feels more like a modern machine than a classical palace. In the conference room, Benedetta Coppa Marinetti's murals cover the walls. These aren't historical paintings, they are allegories of modern connection. They celebrate the telegraph, the radio, and air travel. This interior presents a vision of the future, where the state is the provider of all communication, the brain of a hyper-connected national machine. If the exterior uses ancient weight to slow you down, this vibrant interior is designed to surround you with the state's technological power, inviting you to see yourself as a single connected cell in a larger national body. Mazzoni applied total design. He controlled everything, from 30-meter columns to copper trash cans, leaving nothing to chance. The objective: create an environment so complete it manufactures a uniform citizen, their identity inseparable from the nationalized economy. When the regime collapsed, the overt political symbols were physically purged, the marble fasces were removed, and the party slogans were scrubbed from the walls. But while the leaders and their symbols disappear, the concrete and the stone survive. The physical structures designed to dictate human movement remain in the middle of our cities. Almost a century later, this monument to total control still functions as a regular post office. Yet, in a way, the building failed. Modern citizens walk up those engineered stairs, standing among futurist murals without paying them any attention. They buy stamps and pay their bills, ignoring the psychological programming entirely. Using a fascist monument for the beautifully mundane tasks of everyday life is a quiet victory, a sign the human spirit is far harder to engineer than the stone that surrounds it.